Season 1, Episode 15, Trolling Bays for Solid Northern Pike. Hello guys, this is HookSetAngling here with you again, and today me and Andrew are going to be commentating together on our final Minnesota video.
So basically what we're doing in this episode is trolling for northern pike, and what we do is we just go in the bay and find the weeds and troll the weeds where all the pike like to hide inside the weeds. So I'm hooked up twice here. I got hooked up at the beginning and now I'm hooked up again. I'm just using live bait like minnows, chubs, red tails. You could use whatever you want. And we got Ryan on a fantastic net job right there.
Alright, I'm hooked up with one here, but a tip for you guys, if you try this, you have to be careful not to set the weeds. The fish will bite more aggressively and pull your rod hard and it'll jerk, but a weed will pull it slowly. Just be careful not to set those or else you won't get a fish with weeds.
So what he means by that is not to set the hook on the weeds, because 1, you'll lose your bait, 2, the fish won't hit the weeds, and 3, you're not who doesn't want to catch a fish? So don't set the weeds and make sure you're always ready for a fish. Always have 2 hands on that rod, especially if you're using deeper crankbaits and stuff that can actually pull your rod in the water because of the force they have and the resistance against the water.
And this is a great way to catch fish if you just want to go out to catch fish for fun, for like a little kid and stuff. You'll definitely catch one. We catch one almost every time we go out.
All you have to do is get on your boat, grab a rod, grab one of your favorite lures. We prefer ones that are semi-weedless or that run above the weeds and don't have treble hooks, because even though you don't set on the weeds will still get on those treble hooks. All you have to do is just go to a bay. It doesn't have to be the greatest bay. You could probably just troll the shoreline. Just make sure you're in some weeds. Just troll the shoreline, and then I guarantee you'll catch a pike. If you don't, you're doing something wrong.
And the reel you're going to want to use is a bait caster. That's our preference, because to let it out, you just click the bail, and lightly have your thumb over it so it doesn't backlash, and then just stop it and hold your pole.
So Ryan's hooked up here with one. Most of these pike you catch are pretty nice size, but the bigger the lure, the bigger the pike, but the least amount of fish you're going to catch. So we recommend something more medium size so you could catch the fish all in between, but the fish will be a little bit on the bigger side. Most of the fish we caught were in the slot or under the slot.
And don't be scared to use a smaller minnow if you have to, because you can catch bigger fish off of it. It really just doesn't matter as much. Watch Andrew's bail here. It's pulling out his line like crazy. We thought it was huge, but it was really just stuck in the weeds and the boat was kind of pulling it, and it's really heavy.
The pike also do that, so I know you might get a little bit excited, but sometimes they're not as big as you expect. They run pretty hard, especially if the motor's going in the opposite direction where the fish is going. They take you right into the weeds, get all hooked up on the weeds because there's no bait to save your hook, and then they just get all the weeds on your hook. The fish gets tired out and just floats to the top like it is now, as you can see out in the distance, and all you have to do is just crank it in. But it's still fun, and you can get a lot of good food off of this too.
And to figure out if it's a walleye, you can also catch walleye doing this. If it's a walleye or a northern tend to, when you crank them in, if they're near the boat, they'll be more shallow. And most likely, by the time you get it in, they'll be floating, and you'll just be cranking in. Whereas a walleye will be towards the bottom. Like when you release a walleye, it swims straight down, and when you release a northern, it swims kind of straight.
So these are just the pictures of the fish we caught on that day. We caught about 18 fish in 2 to 3 hours right after lunch. And it was just a great trip and lots of fun. So with HookSetAngling, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ryan.
And thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out our Instagram.